Hello everyone and welcome to Backcountry Gear Shed. In this video I will be outfitting a survival backpack for my wife. This backpack is modeled after my own backpack, which I've been using for about 5 years now, and that is also a North Face Borealis, which is the model of this backpack. However, something I've definitely noticed in examining this backpack and looking at what's available online currently from North Face with that Borealis branding, that backpack has undergone multiple revisions since I purchased my backpack. So there are definitely some differences there in material, but the construction seems very sturdy on this one, similar to the backpack that I've been using for years. So I think this one will probably work out just fine, but it is a little bit unfamiliar to me in that it just doesn't have the exact same layout and structure as my Borealis backpack, which is apparently now called the Borealis Classic. And this is what they're now referring to as the Borealis. It looks to be, as I said, durable in construction, quality materials, got the ripstop. I'm actually not sure what this material would be called, but it feels very durable. It's interesting looking, likely weatherproof, waterproof material. But again, I don't really actually know what it is or much about that particular material. There's some nice padding on these packs. That's something I've definitely appreciated about my own. It has this, what they're calling flex vent technology to theoretically keep your back dry and from getting too sweaty and everything. I don't know how well that's proven to work in the field. I mean, I tend to get pretty hot anyway with my pack on, but in theory you have some room for your spine here, some extra ventilation. The padding is pretty good on this pack, and it should be pretty comfortable for the amount of weight that she'll need to carry in it. I'm going to try to keep it as light as possible while still providing all the critical items that would be needed for survival, at least for the types of environments that we'd be likely to encounter on our day hiking trips, which we do fairly frequently. So with that, we'll move on to the contents of the bag, starting with fire making. It will contain multiple methods of starting fires. I guess the most obvious of which being the trusty Bic lighter. I keep a Bic lighter in every backpack that I outfit like this. They're just a reliable, well-known way of starting a fire. That's something probably all of us are familiar with, and they just tend to be very reliable as far as these disposable gas-filled lighters go. The Bic is known to be probably the best, so I keep one of these in every pack that I outfit like this. In addition to that, there will be other fire-making options available, such as these stormproof matches. Bought some additional matches of that type too that I can refill these containers with. I have this same waterproof container and same matches in my pack. As I mentioned, this one is really modeled after my own pack, so most of what you'll be seeing here in this video that I'm adding to this pack are items that I already have experience with in my own pack. However, I haven't actually used these matches, so I bought this pack with the intention of using some of them. I've seen some pretty impressive claims about these, what these matches can do as far as how waterproof they are. So I'm excited to put that to the test, and I will be bringing that to you in a future video. In addition to the stormproof matches and the Bic lighter, I also intend to include a Zippo lighter. I haven't unboxed this one yet. This is kind of a green traditional Zippo, nothing too fancy about it, but that will be another included option for her to be able to build a fire. And in addition to the Zippo, Bic, and stormproof matches, she will also have a ferro rod. This is a 1/2 inch by 6 inch ferro rod. I have used ferro rods from this brand before, Bayite. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it looks like Bayite. And they seem to make quality products. It's a Chinese manufacturer. Yeah, made in China. But it seems to be a pretty well constructed. It seems like a good ferro rod to me. It's very large, 1/2 inch, 6 inch long. You could start a lot of fires with this ferro rod. Moving on from fire making to cutting tools. This is going to be her primary knife that will go with this pack and that she can wear on her belt in a when we're out hiking in the woods or in a survival situation. This will be our primary knife. And it does have a 90-degree edge for striking that ferro rod we were just looking at. So this will work well with that ferro rod. This is the Beavercraft BSH2. Very nice carbon steel knife. Brand new. I just unboxed this the other day. I have another video of that on my channel if you're interested, and you can check that out. But looks like a very nice knife, and I think it should serve her very well, and a nice dangle sheath to go along with it. Additional cutting tools. This is an outdoor edge knife. Many of you may already be familiar with these, but these knives have replaceable razor blades that look like this. Knife itself, folding knife, locks in position, and let's see. These blades just come right out. Once you manage to dull one, pop in a replacement. They're stainless blades, pretty sharp, and I just love the way you can just pop in a sharp replacement anytime you need one. That's a very nice feature of these knives. When I first learned about them, it looked like something I wanted to have in my pack, so I've carried one of these in my pack for 5 years. This one is brand new. Another cutting tool which I have available is a Swiss Army knife, which is actually a multi-tool. This will provide a can opener, bottle opener, saw. Just open that. This is the Victorinox Huntsman Camo. Swiss Army knives are pretty old school. My father carried a Swiss Army knife every day for decades. The same knife, the one that he carried for many years. It had one of the scales broken off of it, and it didn't matter to him, worked just fine. He had his name scratched in the metal on the side of it, and that knife stuck with him for many, many years and got a lot of use. And sadly, after his passing, my sister had it in an airport one day, and it was taken by TSA, which was a very disappointing thing to hear about. So I've been carrying a Swiss Army knife myself, kind of in honor of him. More recently, as my EDC, typically I carry a Leatherman. I own many Leatherman multi-tools. I own a Signal, a Wave, a Skeletool. I have the Style, the Micra, the Leatherman C33TX. Others too, I'm sure I'm forgetting. I have a multitude of Leatherman tools, but lately I'm kind of having a Swiss Army knife renaissance. And then this one I thought was a good choice for her pack, and that it's very lightweight. A lot of those Leatherman tools I just listed are far heavier than this, or at least the ones that offer the same capability in terms of having a saw and multiple knife blades and bottle opener, can opener, scissors. Scissors is a good thing to have that this provides for her. And this is one of the things I find frustrating trying to open this, that the effort it takes to open the tools on the Swiss Army knife has really taken some getting used to. It is easier on the Leatherman equivalents that I've been carrying. I shouldn't say equivalents, they're pretty different, but on the Leatherman multi-tools I've been carrying, it is easier to get access to the tools. That's one compromise I have to make. I don't know if all of you know what this hook is used for. That's something a lot of people ask questions about on the internet. And the most common description I see is that's used to carry parcels. You can hook it on a piece of twine that's wrapped around a parcel. We don't see a lot of parcels packaged with twine these days. But another use of this is to lift pots off of a campfire. Many camping pots have that wire loop handle, and when that's hot from sitting on top of the fire, you can hook it with this and lift it off, and that alone I think makes this worthwhile to have on your Swiss Army knife. This corkscrew, I honestly never considered that to have much value for me because I'm not a wine drinker, and so I don't need to open wine bottles or remove corks very often. But I did see some people making a good point that this makes a great knot untying tool, and I think that would be great, especially with smaller cordage or like a paracord. This would be great to get in there and just work a knot loose. This also has a toothpick and tweezers, which are both also good things to have with you in a pack like this. So there's a quick rundown on the Victorinox Huntsman camo. I believe that covers all the cutting tools, at least the ones I plan to add immediately, and move on to some comfort gear, some warming gear, and rain protection. So starting with this hat, this is a Rothko genuine government issue 100% wool sheep cap, made to DoD specs, made in USA. These are a great value. You can find these on Amazon and other sellers, I'm sure, for around $12 a piece. I believe these are going for currently. This one's nice. It has a little brim. That Jeep cap style are the ones with these brim. They also have them without the brim if you just want the traditional watch cap. Either are a great option. They have a high wool content, and that wool is going to really help keep you warm. Once this gets wet, it will continue to keep you warm, whereas some of the acrylic materials are not going to do that job or not going to perform well in insulating you once they get wet. So these are great for that. An example of the acrylic that may not do such a great job of insulating once it gets wet, but they will be better than nothing, at least offer some comfort. She'll want to probably try to keep these dry as much as possible in the event that she needs to wear these, but I want to include some gloves, so these will be going in the pack as well. This is a 4-pack of rain ponchos. At least one of these will be going in the pack, maybe two, but good to include a rain poncho just in case some unexpected turn of weather, end up out there in a downpour. Very nice to have this rain poncho to keep dry in that situation. So I'll be including these. A merino wool neck gaiter. These are just nice to have for comfort. Not a must-have, but I keep a neck gaiter in my pack. And I've used it on many occasions. On a cold morning, it's nice, and in general, it's just good to have. Emergency blankets, emergency thermal blankets. I've heard them called space blankets. These are good to have for an absolute emergency situation. I'm sure they're not going to provide much in the way of comfort. It's not something you'd ever want to use, but if you were in a situation where you needed one, I'm sure it would be a very welcome thing to have. So this is another one that I bought extra of with the intention of testing them, because this is something I always carry but have not really tested much. I can just imagine they're not going to be very comfortable, but I do want to test that out and have the experience of using these to actually try to keep warm in a cold situation. So I've got plenty to do that testing, and I will be bringing that to you in a future video as well. Moving on to some safety equipment. This is just a basic first aid kit. Heard them called boo-boo kits in similar videos to this one. I will be breaking this down and putting the contents into this med pouch. This is a pretty basic medical pouch. This is not the Velcro tearaway type. That was by choice, by design. It's not going on a MOLLE pack. It's going to go inside of the North Face Borealis we looked at in the beginning of the video. That's a pretty debated topic. I've noticed watching similar videos to this on YouTube. There are people that swear by the MOLLE packs. There are MOLLE pack detractors that will give you many great reasons not to use a MOLLE pack. I'm really kind of in the middle. I like MOLLE packs. I like non-MOLLE packs. I do like that the non-MOLLE packs don't stand out as much in a crowd. They don't look as tactical. I do appreciate that, but I also like the function of MOLLE. And some are very bothered by having accessories hanging off of their MOLLE. To me, that has not been an issue in the past when I've used MOLLE packs with that type of setup. So it's not that I'm against MOLLE, but for this pack, and also this is again a pack for my wife, and I think that for her, a pack that has a look that is better suited to a variety of situations rather than strictly out in the woods or somewhere where a MOLLE pack might fit in a little better. It'll be good that she can take this pack anywhere and not feel like it stands out, I think. So, as I mentioned, this one is not the tearaway type, although it does have a MOLLE attachment option, but this will be riding down inside of her pack. More safety equipment. This is just a pack of glow sticks, 6-inch, 12-hour, pack of 12. All 12 of these will not be going in the pack. I'll probably put about 4 of these in the pack. And the main purpose of these that I can envision how we will use these would just be for visibility in an emergency situation. If we end up having to walk out in low light or any situation where we want to be seen by passersby, that we could hang these on ourselves and hopefully increase our visibility through that. As far as light to be able to see, I'll be including this Princeton Tech headlamp. These are very good. I own 3 of these already. These are made in USA. 450 lumens. They're not the brightest, but they're bright enough, and your eyes definitely will adjust to that level of light. There are different lighting levels with it too. And let's see, does this one have the red light? Yes. Spot high, spot medium, spot low, red high, red low, with varying outputs in lumens for all of those. And even on low, you can put these on low light and get 6 hours of runtime. I'm apparently not understanding their graph here because they say 450 lumens will give you 63 hours of runtime, and 100 lumens will give you 6 hours. So I'm not sure what they mean by that. I'll have to do a little more looking into that. But great headlamps. Definitely wouldn't hesitate to recommend or purchase more of these Princeton Tech headlamps, which, as I said, are made in USA. Very quality item. For water filtration, I'll be including one of these water filtration straws in her pack. There's also one in my pack. This is a 2-pack. The remaining one will go into my son's pack. I'll be doing a video in the near future of a similar video to this, but outfitting my 11-year-old son's pack. So that should be an interesting video for anyone interested in doing something similar. It will be basically a slightly stripped down version. This pack will be largely a clone of my own pack for my wife, and the one for my son will have less accessories than either of ours. But ideally, I'm going to identify what would be suitable for an 11-year-old and the items that I can introduce him to some of these survival concepts and some of the skills necessary for survival in the woods. This probably should have been more with the comfort items and clothing, the warming gear I covered earlier, but I did also purchase her a shemagh. I keep these in my pack. There's 2 of them in my pack right now. They're very handy. You can wrap them around yourself. And if there's a sunny situation, you need a little shade. These can be good for cooling. Even in a cool situation, they can be good to wrap around and help break the wind a little bit. This is a very nice one. This is a Marywill brand. I've never purchased this before. Most of my shamags are, I would say, on the lower end as far as cost goes. I typically pay around, I guess, $10 to $12, I would say, for one. This one was more like 25, and all the reviews said it was a cut above the rest in terms of quality, and it does definitely appear that way. I haven't actually taken it out of the package yet, but it definitely does appear to be a cut above any that I've seen so far in terms of the quality of the material. So that ought to be really nice. It's not something I would probably need for my own, but since this is going in my wife's pack, I thought this slightly nicer shemagh was warranted, and looks like it should live up to my expectations. I'll be unboxing that, unpackaging that a little later on to add into the backpack. This is a Kuvik titanium backpacking trowel. Very lightweight. Titanium is really pretty amazing stuff. When you feel something like this in your hand, it almost feels unnatural because most metal materials weigh a lot more, especially anything that's going to be as rigid as titanium. So this looks very good so far. Pretty happy with it. It was a pretty good deal as far as titanium goes. I believe this was under $20 on Amazon. So this will go with a roll of toilet paper, or at least a partial roll of toilet paper, in a large Ziploc bag. Always good to have. In my pack, I have a similar lightweight trowel toilet paper. Definitely worth the extra ounces to carry a little bit of toilet paper and a trowel, in my opinion. And here's another cutting tool I'd kind of forgotten about earlier. This is a Homiol? Homiol. Some of these brands, I don't know where they come up with some of these brands on Amazon. A lot of the time I'll just go by the reviews. I've never heard of a Homiol, some Chinese manufacturer. But this is I've heard these called a chainsaw in a can. This one's not in a can, it's in a pouch. But this is one of those hand-operated chainsaws. Maybe some of you have seen those before. Open this up. This one comes in a camo pouch. They got different colorways available. Fortunately, my wife likes camo, so this one was an easy sell. I've actually never used one of these. We'll probably be trying it out later on today after we pack this pack. We're going to be going out in the woods a little bit. So I'll have an opportunity to try this. But the concept looks great. From what I've seen of their usage, they look great. You have some nice pull straps, some strap handles on this one. I've seen type with loops on the end, just wire loops that you put sticks through. Kind of nice. These have the handles already on them. Just one less thing to have to worry about. The handles are very lightweight. It's not really adding any weight to speak of to have those the strap handles on there. So yeah, looking forward to trying this one out. And setting that aside. Up next for wayfinding, I bought this compass. I'm honestly not very impressed with it so far. I'm not sure this compass will remain in her pack. It will go in there today because this is all I really have to put in there. I have a Brunton compass in my pack, and the price had gone up on those considerably since I purchased mine. I think I bought mine for under $15. Been several years, but it was I want to say between $10 and $15, and now they're closer to 30. And I kind of cheaped out, and I bought this one based on very high reviews. But the quality, from what I can see, it's just visibly not as good as the Brunton. Just at a basic visual inspection, even through the package, I can see that the quality is not as good as the Brunton. So that immediately kind of gives me a little concern for something as important as a compass that you need in an emergency situation to find your direction. I should probably replace this one with the Brunton. So I'll probably do that in the future. And this one will probably go into one of my son's packs. I mentioned earlier my 11-year-old's pack. So I'll be outfitting that one in the near future. And I also have a 2-year-old son, and I'm going to be outfitting a little day pack for him with some survival type equipment, just to kind of get him used to the concept of carrying that gear, even though he's too young at this point to actually utilize much of that. But he gets excited just putting the pack on. We've just done that with him, and it's been great. And he's done his first hike now, and just a short little half-mile hike. But since he's just turned 2, we were very happy and excited about that. So looking forward to getting him out in the woods more and getting his pack decked out. Additional wayfinding equipment. This map, this is the region that we spend most of our time in the woods in. So this gives us some decent quality maps, no cellular service or anything like that required. So a very good thing to have. Of course, this will vary by your area as far as what kind of maps are available for your area. If they don't have nice printed maps so specific to your region as this, check with your local forestry service. I know here our forestry service is great. They have all these like handbill style maps outside of the forestry service office, and there's a wealth of good information there in those handbills. So that's one worthwhile resource to check out. But ideally, hopefully, you might be able to find something even more specific and with higher quality maps for your region, something like this. Here's all the gear unboxed and ready to be added to the pack. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that there will be a Nalgene bottle included with the pack. This is a 1 liter, just a run-of-the-mill, BPA-free Nalgene water bottle. Here's the pack all loaded out with that gear. It came out really nice. It feels really good. It weighs 6.9 pounds without the water bottle and without including the knife. This will be on her belt, not in the pack, so I didn't want to include that. And as far as the water bottle, that'll be a variable weight that will be added to it at any time, depending on how much water happens to be in the bottle at that time. She might even have one on both sides. A lot of time we're going with our kids, we carry water for them too, or it might be on a hike that warrants just having extra water for ourselves. But in general, she'll probably have at least a liter of water in this Nalgene bottle. Full, this weighs in at 2.6 pounds. So overall, still very lightweight, even with an included water bottle. Pretty happy with the outcome with this pack so far. The Borealis pack has many compartments for organization. That's one of the things I've appreciated about my own. As you can see here, rain ponchos, chainsaw, thermal blankets, the outdoor edge, knife with the replaceable stainless razor blades, ferro rod, compass, that Swiss Army knife. There's a Zippo here. I did fuel up the Zippo. It's working well. Zippos are really nice. I don't know how many of you carry Zippos in the field, kind of old school, but they are a really nice product, made in USA. It just, you can feel the quality when you handle a Zippo. Something I like to have around. And they do work well. They're, look at that, took 2 strikes. They do tout them as a windproof lighter. I don't know about that. But just one more option for fire making. In addition to the ferro rod, stormproof matches, Bic lighter. I just like having options. Speaking of that Bic lighter, that's here. So yeah, lots of nice compartments for storage. See this pack kind of swelled out at the top here, but a lot of that is pretty lightweight. The Jeep cap, the merino wool gaiter, headlamp, gloves, it's all pretty light stuff. So it doesn't make the pack too top heavy or anything like that. It still feels pretty good inside the pack. Find the right zippers here. The Schmog med kit. I have that toilet paper and backpacking trowel in this bag. I need to find a large Ziploc bag for it. I might be out. I need to ask the wife if she has a stash of those anywhere I can get one from, or we need to buy some more. But for now, I just have it in one of these reusable grocery bag, plastic bags, just to keep it from getting wet. And there you have it. That's the initial setup anyway. If you're watching this video, you see anything glaring that I've missed, please leave a comment below. If you have really any feedback about anything I've included in this video, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I make these videos in the hope that there's other gear enthusiasts out there like myself that would be interested in watching something like this, and so I'd love any feedback or engagement. I've been a gear enthusiast since I was a kid. That was quite a while ago, like since the 80s. I remember reading Gander Mountain catalogs way back in the day, back when they were similar to a Cabela's or like a Bass Pro Shops. They eventually, I guess, turned into like an RV supplier, I believe, and then I think they're out of business now. But back then, I'd pore over their catalogs, looking at archery equipment and air guns and you name it, just as a kid. And to this day, I just love the outdoor gear. And so, like I said, I hope that like-minded gear enthusiasts will find this channel interesting. And if there's anything I can do to improve, leave me that feedback in the comments as well. So thank you for watching.